Hello, and welcome to another edition of Chaos Craft. Chaos Engine, I guess. Possibly soon to be Chaos World. So, either way, this is part of the series I'm doing on brainstorming for a new game that I am looking to see if you guys are interested in helping me crowdfund. I talked about previously, I'm going to go through this real quick. Having two layers where you have people that can sign up as just regular gameplay users, and then people that can sign up as trainers, and then the trainers would then compete, and they would train their own, AIs using a user interface that they could do level design and basically create, different things, and then they could, let the AIs generate, maybe even do some drag and drop editing the AI's brains and stuff, and then spawn them up in what I call the park. So once they, the AIs reach the thing, they can spawn it up, and we'd basically allow the trainers to compete on how much the gameplay users visited their areas of the park and interacted with their creatures. So, go back. Alright, so with that said, we're going to look at some of my notes here. That I did the old-fashioned way. Come on. Go that way. Darn it. Alright, so I want first and foremost there to be an economy of some type, where there's trade. I guess that's not first and foremost, sorry. These are just some random notes. I want you to be able to edit the environment, so just like Minecraft. And again, I could stick with the Minecraft platform because everybody loves it, but I'm pretty sure down the line there's going to be, the more I build this complexity, the more there's going to be some type of IP licensing issue or something with Microsoft. So, if anybody knows anybody at Microsoft and Minecraft and wants to talk to me about it, I'd love to. Or if you know anybody at any game studios that are interested in building something where AI comes into play, where we can get people to understand this a little more and open it up a bit more, that'd be awesome. So introduce me to, if you know anybody at gaming studios, or you work at one, or you whatever, please, I'd love to talk to you. So I want the environment to be editable, where you'd have to grow stuff. There'll be, random things spawning up, procedurally generated type stuff. But then you can also, chop down trees and build stuff. And I'm hoping the AIs will edit the environment, which would be really cool. And so instead of just having procedurally generated, where someone defines, a mechanism of, hey, this is going to be what goes here at this, if this random seed says this, instead it'll be more, the AIs will go in there and edit stuff and move stuff around and build stuff, and you'll see evidence of their survival and their passing and everything, and it'd be an interesting thing to do. Additionally, I want to add a communication layer where they're not going to be able to communicate like us. They're going to be able to communicate. They're going to be able to communicate like. Sorry, someone just asked me something. They're going to be able to communicate with a series of series of symbols and a series of think like a pack of gazelles. They're probably going to communicate like that first, where one of them notices a danger and then it perks its head up, and the rest of them detect it, or it chats an A or whatever. So basically, I'm going to give it a limited vocabulary, but instead of just A, B, C, D or Unicode, I'm going to try and make it symbols, not quite emojis, but more like a hieroglyph. So they have some basic symbols they can use to communicate with each other. So if one sees, danger, it chats, a specific, an X or something of that nature. It'll be a swirly, I don't know. And then I want to match that up to 8-bit tones. So like each symbol will have its own 8-bit tone type thing. It'll probably be 10 or so. And then maybe give them the ability to say 3 of them at a time, and then so that'll give them some version of sentence structure. But ideally, I'm guessing they're going to be more like ants, where they kind of follow each other, and one says there's food over here, and the rest just follow it, or something of that nature. Danger over here, food over here, that type of thing would be pretty cool. The communication is going to be what makes it stand out, that the AIs can actually communicate with one another. And then memory is another one, and I'm going to do a separate thing on that because I have separate notes, but I don't have them with me because I just changed notebooks, so I don't have access to that right now. And then the hierarchy of needs. So in the original Chaos engine I built, which was a JavaScript AI builder of sorts, that was based off of I used Minecraft, or not Minecraft sprites. I used Fallout engines, or Fallout like 1 and 2 sprites. But we're going to strip parts of that out and use it for this next one as well, for the interpreter. But I didn't set that original one up great. I set it up all in one. It was a giant monolithic mess. So, but the pleasure matrix basically says that if you've got, let's just say that it looks for stat changes, basically. So if let's just say your hunger level goes down, then it'll reinforce the behaviors right before that. If your hunger level goes up, that's a negative thing. If you get hurt, it'll de-enforce somehow, or rank the behaviors right before it lower. So it gives you some amount of neuroplasticity there at another level. So I'm thinking about adding that back in. There's nothing like that in Chaoscraft, but I had always intended it to be that way. So some of these other notes are about factories, so this is like just game mechanic notes. And originally I was thinking more modern urban, but I think, as I said previously, I think more Western kind of feel, like frontier would be better, because otherwise you've got to have a bunch of things that are existing. Or I could go planetary. I can go a lot of different ways with it. So this is just notes on factories, which are basically water supplies, or things that produce goods. I got walls, and here's where I was going. Is I think I said isometric. So think XCOM, enemy within, and then just some math there, but XCOM type stuff. So. God. So, sorry, I just cut my hair and some jackass is staring at me right now. I just cut a foot a hair off here. Good morning, Alex. Good morning. All right, not important. So originally I was thinking of a bus station for the entities to spawn, but now I'm thinking train station, like I said in the other video. I'm looking at like a Westworld style thing where is it? You start at the middle and you work your way out, and so the players would be dropped off there, and then the trainers would have sections around the park. I realize that I'm pointing at stuff you guys can't actually see, so I'll just quick review on last time's notes, but like basically, the green, everybody would have their own fish tank where they could build stuff and train stuff, and then that would spawn afterwards in the park at some location outside of the main circle, and then the AIs would venture outwards. But then that way you could kind of claim your square where your guys spawn, and you could launch them, and once they're in the park you can't really affect them a ton. Once they leave your training area, they're just on their own. They're just rolling. So sounds like a monumental endeavor. Why do I keep doing that? Alright, so back to here. So train station, hospital, yeah, that was an interesting one, but train stations, I think, where we're going, I'm leaning towards right now. So the idea is that you guys would also have your own. Oh yeah, so I wanted to give you guys the ability to create objects and level build. I want this to be as open source and collaborative as possible, so people can kind of add on to it. I'm not sure it'll be actually fully open source, but there'll be some type of API where you guys can, some people can contribute textures and bitmap art. Other people can contribute objects, things of that nature, so we can, make this thing move a lot faster without having a huge budget, because I assure you that I don't. Here's another one. So procedural generation, city planner, room planner. I don't remember where I was going with that, but here's where I decided Wild West was a good idea, and here's where I blatantly decided that Westworld had a pretty cool idea. So again, if anybody knows anybody at Westworld, or owns the rights to Westworld, and they'd like to commission some type of game in their favor that uses AI, people training stuff instead of just people playing, then let me know. Claim your territory. Bots build homesteads. Yes. Player is Dr. Ford. Yeah, okay. Officially, if this goes anywhere, I gotta probably ditch all this unless Westworld does commission it, but it's just kind of what I'm thinking here. Allow players to set fitness functions. And so over here I have this fitness function UI. And it's kind of funny because I wrote these notes at least a week ago, and or about a week ago, and somebody actually said you should use this point system, and I said that sounds like a good idea, so I was kind of already thinking about it, but now this is where Just before he said this, I actually designed a user interface where people can kind of set their own point system here. And so here is rule ideas. So like keep children alive the longest, and children is an entity filter. I realize you guys can't see where I'm pointing, I'm sorry. Acquires most gold, and that's a object filter, and then kills most entity filter. So it kills the most, say some type of, cattle. That'd be bad probably if cattle was a bred thing. But so there's some game mechanics here. So this is kind of, I should have gone through this first. So you guys, I think the coolest would be like you guys could save, mines that you've trained. So you train it up to generation whatever, and you found the best one there. You could save it, kind of put a, fork that, and have, you come back to that base, or share it, make copies of it, and then have them go off and do different situations, and then pit them back against each other. Define training courses. So you could basically, it's a level builder of sort. You guys can share and compete with training courses. And then alter core code, just issue a patch. So basically you could go in there and say, okay, I want to manually edit the brain and change it, and isolate specific behavior patterns, perhaps, share between dots, use training courses to isolate, use fitness function in main game. I'm not sure where I was going with that, and then use pleasure matrix, which I described in the previously. So, what do we got here? Ways of changing brain, random training and programming. So you could do all of them. And the programming, we could do a drag and drop system where you select nodes and drag and drop them and stuff there and copy them. So I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to do. So you wouldn't have to code anything necessarily. And then the user's fish tank. So this is a drawing of what you saw in the other one, but you could define multiple training rooms. That the bots would then have to go through and fulfill the fitness function and they would be, you could randomly generate. So like one might be to, if it sees food, to seek it out and grab it. Another one might be like they have to craft something. If they see this and this, then they should go craft it. Another one might be pitting them against each other in a fight. But you guys would be able to design your own scenarios and then generate the most intelligent bot possible before you release it into the park. And then from there you could see, they'd go from the training room into your fish tank, and from there you'd say like, this one's ready for release it in the park. Maybe release, you could choose how frequently it releases, release one of these an hour or some generation. And then once they're in the park, then they would spawn out children on their own, kind of, in a way. They would, you would no longer really be able to dictate their behavior. Maybe there'd be some type of, kill button on it or something, where you could just go into gameplay mode, and if they're running amok, then you gotta go kill them all or something. That'd be kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's the idea, is they go from there into the park, which is that, big thing that everybody else can see. So, yeah, never mind my other random sketches. But yeah, so that's it. That's Chaos World. Check out my Patreon, leave comments. I haven't gotten that far on it, so the comments on this video and the previous one will be the more people commenting on my hair. Will be what dictates where we go next. So thank you all, and yeah. Thanks for reviewing, and I love your feedback. Have a nice day. How do I close this? World's worst screencaster here.